How are you going to play it in the pick 4?
Well, that race is difficult, but I'm going to try to go light in there and try to get to Liam's map, obviously. So I'm going to, the juvenile turf, I think you need to go deep. Yeah, so I'm going to go 8 deep in there, and I'm going to use all the outside horses. I'm going to single Liam's map, and then in race number 8, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf, you got to take stands there. I'm going to go 6 deep, and I don't know if that's deep enough. And then race number 9, like Joaquin was saying, I want to go deeper, but I can't. I'm going 7, 8 in there. I think Wedding Toast is everybody's horse to beat, and I think it's going to be one of those horses where not a lot of people are going to play because they're looking at her early speed, but she's too sharp to ignore. And you know what? I think she can sit behind horses. I like Carolina an awful lot, but I'm just not going to let Wedding Toast. And Kieran McLaughlin's been winning everything, and just not going to let him beat me.
All right, so Scott Hazelton, when you're celebrating at Gordon Biersch later that night on Friday night, will you be have enough money for domestic, or is it going to be imported?
We're going all in on the import there, Todd. So join us on Friday night to key up for Saturday. I'll start with my pick 4 strategy. I'm going to play a $36 ticket. It revolves around Liam's map. He's the single in the dirt mile. Told you that before. We're going to go 4 deep in the juvenile turf, including the number 4 Shogun, my top selection. Birchwood, a horse that draws well, gets James Doyle, who's quickly become one of the top riders in the world for Godolphin. Raise the bar, the long shot in there, and then the 8-horse Aero Force, the likely favorite for the juvenile turf. On to race number 8 after singling Liam's map and getting him home by 5. The juvenile filly turf. Going to use the 2 Thrilled for Todd Pletcher, a horse that should sit a good trip down in the inside and save ground. The daughter of Uncle Mo, and then also have the 7-horse Sapphire Kitten. You heard about Christina on this filly and the way that she finished in that Jessamine. The 8-horse Harmonize is the filly to beat, and she's shown her versatility. And then also Illuminate with Frankie Dettori, a filly that should have some speed. She might be wide, but she should have a good early position coming out of those 3/4 races at Newmarket and Ascot. And then finally in the distaff, I'm a Chatterbox, my top selection, utilizing the 3 Salama. You heard from Paulie on Charlie Lepresti and the situation where he's bringing this filly, which seems unlikely for a Lepresti trained young filly especially. Stop Charging Maria, I think she's live, and then closing it out with the 12-horse Got Lucky. If things get crazy in front of her and she lays back and has that same sort of run, she could easily win this race if she didn't leave it all out on the racetrack in the Spinster.
My ticket looks similar, and similar to Paul's as well. I also single Liam's map, and I use 6 horses in the juvenile turf to kick it off. Talked about Dressed in Hermes earlier. I'm also going to use Birchwood, who you touched on, Scott. This horse, I think, very, very interesting, and I liked even the defeat in the Vintage Stakes at Goodwood. I thought they brought the horse back a little too quick for that race. Now with a little more time between races, he should run big. Aero Force, we discussed. He should be showing some speed, one of the horses to beat in there. And then Camelot Kitten, my top pick, and the Euros on the outside, Simric and Hit a Bomb for Aidan O'Brien. I will single Liam's map. As mentioned, he just looks way too tough. Again, his bounce is better than their best in the dirt mile. We move ahead to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. 7-horse on there, Sapphire Kitten we talked about, Harmonize, the horse to beat for the Hall of Famer Bill Mott. All of that route experience, the fact that she is so multi-dimensional, and that Junior Alvarado can put her just about anywhere in that race. Nemeralia is my price horse in the Juvenile Fillies Turf. Joel Rosario, interesting that he keeps the call, decides to go ahead and ride this horse, and I think the 2 turns will be no problem for her at all based on her breeding. And I respect the horse that beat her last time. Nickname is a horse I'm going to take a real close look at in the Juvenile Fillies on dirt on Saturday. And Illuminate, my top pick, who impressed me so much, not only with her record, but even with her loss last time out in the Chevrolet Park Stakes. Race 9, the 9th and final of the sequence. Top pick is I'm a Chatterbox, the 1. I will also use the 7 Wedding Toast just to be covered in there. And then Yahilwa, my price horse, and Got Lucky. I think it should set up well for her with all of the speed that we see in the distaff. That's my ticket, Joaquin. We're all singling Liam's map. How about you?
Well, Christina, just go ahead and add my name to the list of people that are going to single Liam's map in the pick 4. But I'm going to get some coverage in race number 6 in the juvenile turf. I'm going to go 6 deep, 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, and 14. I'm using all the European runners in there. The 7 Raise the Bars a long shot, and the 8 Aero Force. He's undefeated, a perfect 2 for 2 for trainer Mark Cassie. Race number 7 is the Dirt Mile. We talked about the popular single in Liam's map. Race number 8, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. Top pick for me is Nemeralia. Now getting back to the turf course, I think she's going to be on her preferred surface, and she's won 2 of her last 3 starts. And I really like the spacing for Nemeralia coming into this race. And as Christina mentioned, I like that she does keep Joel Rosario in the irons. Harmonize, I cannot try to throw her off the ticket. How about one other price play in the Juvenile Fillies Turf? The 11 priced to perfection for Chad Brown. Comes back quickly in only 2 weeks, but that was a really nice turn of foot that she showed into a slow pace of 49 2/2 mile. And it's the Chad Brown runner that I just do not want to leave off at a price. As I alluded to a few moments ago, in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, I think Frivolous is a live long shot in there. I'm going to use 2 horses towards the outside and Got Lucky. I just think she's been so consistent this year. She looks for back-to-back wins. Sheer Drama for David Foxy has opted to keep her fresh. She comes in here off a 2-month layoff. But my top pick will go to the 4, Stop Charging Maria. I don't think she wanted to be on the leader in the last race, and I think she's just going to be a little bit better sitting just off the pace. So I will go 4 deep in the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Distaff. And Todd, that is a $36 pick 4 for me.